What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the stream. Everything's looking good. Everything's sounding good. Is it sounding good? There we go. Now I can hear myself. What's going on? It is Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. And this is a new thing today. So we are going to, what is this called? Toolbox Tuesday. We're going to have a look at all the different tools and everything that I use in order to run Piixel Media, which is a creative services business. So if you're ever wondering how much, I guess I could go over the costs. If you're ever wondering all the different things that I use on a day-to-day basis, or that someone would use on a day-to-day basis to run a creative services industry, then I guess you're in the right place. So welcome back to the, we're going to call this the Unconventional Mindset live stream. And what we do on this stream is every day we get together and we discuss all the different things that we are doing in order to build ourselves a company and a business that is going to generate us $1 million in revenue every single year. That's our goal, and that's what we are working towards. And the company in question is called Piixel. And what we offer are creative services. Specifically, we build websites, and not only do we build them, we manage them for you. So you pay a monthly fee, and then you have everything completely developed and built for you. And not only that, we also manage the websites into the future as well too. And if you want to get into other different packages, we do other offerings like search engine optimization to get you ranked higher in into your niche or into your local area, so that of course you can get more business. And then we can go into other things as well too, in terms of social media content and video production and written content, all that fun stuff. So that's what we're trying to build. And so far, we started the company back in September 2022. And so far, it's been less than a year, and we've already generated a little over $100,000 in revenue, which is amazing. Super pumped about that. So we're 10% there to our million. And hopefully we'll get there it'd be great to get there in 2024, but maybe 2025. We'll see how we go. So what we're going to do today is I have a list here of all the different tools that I use on a day-to-day basis. Let me zoom in here and we'll share this. Actually, before I share my screen, let me throw out some tunes. We could use some music. We could always use some music. So hopefully everyone is having a great day today. Over here in Halifax, Nova Scotia, it is very hot. It is about 27 degrees Celsius for anybody who's American and using ridiculous Fahrenheit units. I mean, I don't know why you'd want to do that, but yeah, 27 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. It's a nice day outside. Okay, just getting my music here all set up. Music. And I could even show you what it is I'm doing here in Artlist. And let's go for some hip hop today. How about that? Let's turn that down in my ears a little bit. And just instrumental, please. Okay. So here is the list. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so I'm going to give a little bit of an overview here of everything I use. And then maybe I could, as we go along here, I can put beside how much it generally costs, and then we can kind of get an idea for how much things do cost. I could put it together real numbers. Anyways, if you do want real actual numbers of how much everything costs, do let me know. Actually, we could probably do that on Financial Fridays if we're doing a recap of the whole P&L sheet, the profit and loss sheet, and figure out exactly what the expenses are. Anyways, so I use Asana. Asana is the main tool that I use for productivity, and I absolutely love it. Let me just bring it up here. So, all right. So here's Asana. I think I was working on this yesterday. It is basically a very simple, well, actually it's pretty complex, but it's a simple tool which allows you to create tasks within specific projects. And I have a specific project here of accounting, live stream, which you saw yesterday. And basically it allows me to organize every single thing in my company, which is fantastic. And what I've started to do, still not quite finished yet, is to put together like standard operating procedures and like how-to guides within this tool, or within this software, I guess you can say, within Asana. And it'll allow me to quickly, I'm hoping anyways, to quickly ramp up and get new employees that I'm going to eventually end up hiring up to speed on exactly how we do things here at Piixel. So anyways, Asana for productivity, it is absolutely amazing, and it is very highly recommended. There's other tools out there, like I think there's Monday, and oh my goodness, what else is there? There's Basecamp as well, which is pretty good. There's lots of them. I totally can't remember all of them. There's so many of them. But that's the one that I like the best. What is this that I'm hearing? Okay, that was too much. Okay, so Zoom, pretty self-explanatory. I use Zoom in conjunction with Calendly, where people can, actually I guess I'll show this again, just to show you guys exactly how it's working. So when somebody wants to book a call, if they're not sure exactly what I can offer them, or if they want to talk to me in person, they just click book a call here. And then this is Calendly right here, which people can schedule a time to meet with me. They just click here and select a time to meet. And that automatically goes into my calendar, and it goes to their calendar, and a meeting is set up through Zoom. So Zoom is what I use to have video calls and video conferencing. 1Password is the tool that I use to manage all my passwords for everything. So, well, not everything, but most of my things, for like all the passwords for all your web apps or what have you. So it's like a LastPass, but it's basically a manager where you remember one master password and you use it to log into all, like it remembers all your passwords and it creates passwords. So I don't remember any of my passwords. They're all these crazy like 30 string characters and digits or what have you, and LastPassword just remembers everything for you. So it's very handy if you want to share certain accounts with certain people, whether it's within your family or whether it's within your organization. Like I have, like Andrea, for example, does some things. So I have some shared passwords that she can go in, download the receipts or whatever, which she uses to keep track of all the accounting and all that kind of stuff. So very good for managing passwords. So for email, Hey is what I use for email. And I wonder if I should just kind of bring this kind of stuff. Well, if I don't, I think, let me go here. So if I go to Hey, these are the same guys that made Basecamp. And I use this for email. It's a new way of thinking about how email works, which I really, really like. And I think one of my favorite features, there's two things that I really love about this, is number one is this screener idea, so that whenever you receive a new email from someone who's never been part of your contact or someone that you haven't reached out to, it goes into your screener. Like this little thing here where it says screen 5 first time senders. So what you can do is you can hit thumbs up or thumbs down whether you want this person to be able to email you again. If you hit thumbs down, then you won't see any of their emails. They'll just go directly into this like screened out section. So, if your email gets sold to newsletters or whatever the case may be, and you're like, who is this person who's always taking into my inbox? You can just hit no, never receive emails from them again. And there you go. It's basically like a way to block them, but without blocking them per se. Like they won't know that they're blocked or whatever. They can keep sending emails. Anyways, I really, really like how they do that. And I really like how they strip away all of the things that track you whenever you open up an email. So if you ever get an email from pretty much anyone like who's using MailChimp or ConvertKit or Constant Contact, any of these email providers, which there's so many of them out there, they will track when you open, what you open, how long you have it open for, what you click on, where you're located. They track all kinds of data on you, which is pretty crazy. And So what they do in their emails is they strip everything out for you so that you can't be tracked, which is really, really nice. So I love that. So it's a little bit pricey. I think it's $12 per user per month, which is pretty expensive. So, you get 10 people, you're paying $120 a month US for email. So that's pricey, but for me, I think it's worth it. I really like how they do their business. Okay, so Microsoft Office, pretty self-explanatory. I basically use that for Word. Obviously, I'm using it right now to write documents, and I use Excel quite a bit for spreadsheets. And a lot of my clients use Microsoft PowerPoint, and I use PowerPoint to create presentations for them as well. I'm doing, working on design and slide decks and all that kind of stuff. So Microsoft Office is pretty good, and I actually like Microsoft Office. Most Microsoft things I don't like, but Office is actually not that bad. So Dropbox, we use that for sharing files and having access to certain files remotely, because if there's a lot of things I keep here on my computer, which is only available on my computer, but if I'm going anywhere or if I'm sharing anything with anybody on the team or whatever, then we use Dropbox to sync and manage those files. And Calendly, I already talked about. That's how I use to reach out with clients and book times for them to have meetings with me. And the one thing this thing I really don't want to use anymore is Google Calendar. I try to get rid of all things Google, but I don't have any replacement for a good calendar. I don't know what else I could use that is easy enough to use and that can sync up with all my other things. So unfortunately, I do have to use Google for that. Obviously, I use them for YouTube. Obviously, I'm live streaming here on YouTube, but I try to avoid Google as much as possible. I'm just not a fan of how they do business. Accounting and finances. So I'm here based obviously in Canada. So I have an actual business account and I use the Bank of Montreal for that. Why did I decide to go with them? It's pretty straightforward. I think I can show bmo.ca. And let's go to business. And I guess bank accounts. Aha, right here. So this is the account that I have. Actually, I think I have 5 accounts with this, and it's the e-business plan. And this is the price, which I love, which is $0. Let me zoom in here. So it's $0 and I get unlimited electronic transactions. Now, basically people pay me either through Stripe or I get money directly deposited into my bank account, and I could do that unlimited amount of times, which is perfect. And I think I have access to 2 e-transfers a month, which is what I use to either pay myself or pay any contractors that I have doing work for me. And then I don't pay anything for that unless I go over. Every time I go over, I think I get charged like $1.50. So I think I've gotten charged like $3 since I've started a business in terms of just going over for some of my limits, which I didn't know I had, but whatever. So that's pretty cheap. So I really, really like that. So I guess I would have to pay money if I go and deposit things in person, but I don't know. I never do that. So I don't know. I actually did go to the bank for the first time the other day, and I took out $25 because I needed some change. So I'll see if I get charged for that. I don't know. But so far, nothing to complain about them. I just use strictly banking and I just do things online. I went to the bank and it was like super busy and there was like one cashier. So that was really annoying. But I don't know what it is with banks. I mean, they're making billions of dollars and yet they can never have enough people on staff. It's actually really annoying. I don't know why they can't do better in that avenue, but whatever. So I have that, and I have an American Express. I think, what do I have? I have the Platinum card, which is pretty pricey. It's $500 a month for the year for like their service charge or what have you. But I think when I first signed up, I got a plan, so you get like almost like $800 worth of free stuff or points or whatever. So that's really great, and it gives you some pretty cool perks, which I end up using, which is like discounts at hotel stays and discount on car rentals. So if you're traveling or whatever doing business, it's pretty good there. There's probably some other stuff that I will take advantage of a little bit later on. But anyways, I really like it. not every place, especially in Canada, takes American Express. So that's one thing to consider. Like I do know the superstores, the Atlantic superstores here, or Zehrs in Ontario, or like President's Choice, like those places, they don't take American Express. So that's really annoying. So if you do groceries or whatever a lot there, then for business anyways, then that might not be the best place or the best kind of card to get. But anyways, I love it. And I just have the one business card and that's it. I don't need like multiple other business cards at all. So, and then QuickBooks, I've talked a lot about that before. I use QuickBooks to do the accounting and keep track of all the money that we're spending and making, of course. And yeah, so that's it with the finances. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward with that. So creativity, on to the creative side. I use Adobe Creative Suite and whatever that costs a month. I don't know, it's probably a lot, but I just close my eyes because I don't like knowing. I just would love to pay for software and I just have it, back in the day. But anyways, you can't really do that anymore. Anyway, so I use Adobe Creative Suite and I use Photoshop quite often. I use Illustrator. I use Adobe Audition for audio work. I use, what else do I use? Every once in a while, I'll throw up what's called After Effects for motion graphics. And of course, I use Lightroom for photography. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think I use anything else. Maybe everything else every here and there. Like I use InDesign quite often actually for like creative work, like it's brochure or print and stuff. Adobe Stock, I have that for my stock photography, which is I find it very similar to Shutterstock. I feel like they share kind of the same imagery, but I have a plan there, so I get to download, so many stock photography every month. DaVinci Resolve, I absolutely love. I use that for video editing. It is amazing. It's totally free, but I paid like $300 or whatever to get the full version, and it's a one-time cost, which is phenomenal. You don't get many of that these days where you pay something once and then you have it forever. But DaVinci Resolve has gone that route, which is amazing. Absolutely love them for that. Hopefully they never change that. Artlist, which is what you're listening to right now, that's what I use for my music, to get royalty-free music on YouTube and podcasts and all that kind of stuff. Speaking of podcasts, I use Simplecast to host, I guess these are on my old podcasts, and whenever the Unconventional Mindset goes to a podcast, and maybe these things I could do at some point, and it's just like a solo podcast. I have no idea. That Simplecast is what I use to kind of host the podcast. It's a little bit pricey, but I like it because I can just put a show on there and then it just distributes it to all the other platforms, and I don't have to worry about putting it on Apple or Google or Spotify or any of that kind of stuff. It just kind of goes out there automatically. So that's nice. And in Envato Elements, I have a subscription there. I don't know if I'm going to keep it or not. Probably will, but I use that to get certain templates and elements and creative products basically that you can use. Think of icons or After Effects templates, or logo openings, all kinds of different things. I should also say UI8 is a place too where I've gotten some graphical elements as well too. So when it gets into actually building and designing websites, I use Webflow. Webflow is my tool of choice. I absolutely love Webflow. Moved away from WordPress quite a few years ago and hopped on to the Webflow bandwagon, and I'm pretty much loving it. There's a few things that are a little bit dicey in terms of if you want to do anything that's really, really complex and custom, but using Webflow and then using tools like Zapier and Make, those two things allow you to connect different applications together and pass data through without the use of code. So those two tools are amazing, and that really supercharges Webflow. So Webflow mixed in with Zapier and maybe even and sometimes Make allow you to do so many really, really cool things with Webflow. And then of course I use Airtable as well, which is basically an online spreadsheet, but of course it's a lot more than that, because it allows you, like you can make databases with it. You do all kinds of cool things and connect all your different applications through Airtable, and you can update information dynamically. There's a whole bunch of really cool things you can do with Airtable. And I don't even pay for it right now. I'm just using the free plan, which is phenomenal. MemberStack, I'm using it right now. I'm probably going to be canceling that as soon as, probably actually very soon. And that is a tool that is used to create membership websites and to be able to have users and collect payments on a membership website. So Fathom is what I use for analytics. Instead of using Google Analytics, I use Fathom. Even though Fathom I have to pay monthly, I prefer that I prefer that because it gives my users privacy for whenever they land on any of my websites. I don't know who they are. I don't track them or any of that kind of stuff. So it's like anonymous, non-tracking analytics on a website. I just need to know what people are looking at, where they're clicking or whatever. I don't need to know who it is. MailChimp is the tool that I used for email marketing. So, if you've seen a few of the earlier videos where we were working on the Unconventional Mindset newsletter, that was built in MailChimp, and everything that is going to be going forward through newsletters is going to be through them. And Namecheap is the tool that I use to register all my domains. So if I'm buying a domain name, either for a client or for myself or what have you, I use Namecheap for that. No complaints for them, pretty cheap. And just as the name says, I mean, most domains are they're not very expensive anyways, right? So I just kind of use them, and, they haven't, done anything to make me leave yet. Like there's other places like GoDaddy or DreamHost. There's other places that they did something to me, and I'm like, okay, I'll never go back to you guys again. But anyways, Namecheap hasn't done that to me just yet. So with live streaming, what do I do for live streaming? So I use OBS, which is Open Broadcasting System. I think that's what it's, what it means, what it's for. OBS stream. Open Broadcaster Software. Okay, yeah. So this is what I use to run the live streams. And in conjunction with that, I use a Stream Deck, of course, to be able to switch, when I switch from here, to here, I just press the button on the Stream Deck. I guess it's more of a hardware thing, and yeah, it's pretty much just a hardware. So I'm not sure it really belongs here. Anyways, and I also use Twidget, which is a little piece of software which allows me to custom style comments that I could put up and display on OBS when someone leaves a comment on the live stream. And for entertainment, I use Spotify. So I pay for Spotify account, so I can just listen to music ad-free whenever I'm just working. And for education, so far right now, like I'll probably buy, I don't know if it's like a Udemy thing or like a Skillshare or something like that, just help me learn some things that I might want to learn. But for right now, I just usually buy books. So if there's something that I want to learn about, I'll just buy a book, and I just use that basically on Amazon that I use to purchase anything that I want to learn. And that's pretty much it. That is an overview of all the tools that I use pretty much on a daily basis. So if there's ever anything here that you want me to dive into more specifically that you'd like to learn about, let me know, and I'll be sure to do that. As we go every Tuesdays, we kind of dive into different tools and kind of how to use them and how you can use them to optimize certain things in your business, or how to, use Zapier to automate certain things. So we'll get into lots of little things, more specific things like that. And if there's anything you want me to go over, I will go over. If not, I'll just think of some things that I think will probably be useful for new people that are starting out or that might not be as tech savvy or whatever to implement into the business to make their tools that much more powerful in their business. All right. So that's pretty much it. So I think I'm going to leave it there. That's Toolbox Tuesdays. And again, next Tuesday, we'll get into something a little more in detail. And Wednesday what is Wednesday? I can't remember now. I keep thinking like Wacky Wednesday, Webflow Wednesday. So tomorrow we're going to get into working more on our components within Webflow and go back into that and just keep working away and developing in there. All right, that is it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate your support. And as always, I'll be back here with a brand new video for you tomorrow. All right, guys, have a great day.